Assalamu alaikum students. I hope all of you are fine. Today's lecture in our CSS essay lecture series is about the body of the essay. In our first lecture, we discussed in a very at a very brief level about the structure of an essay. We discussed an essay comprises of three parts basically. It has an introductory paragraph, it has 15 to 17 body paragraphs, and then lastly it has a conclusion. Today, what we are going to discuss is the body of the essay, and today we will be discussing it at a very comprehensive level. Okay, how this body paragraph is structured, how it is structured differently from an introductory paragraph. So these are the things that we'll be discussing about body paragraphs, because the structure of a body paragraph is different from an introductory or a concluding paragraph. So at the end of the day, an essay is all about 15 to 17 body paragraphs. So unless you have a command over body paragraph, you know the anatomy of a body paragraph, how to write a body paragraph, you effectively can't write a good essay. So that is why, knowing about the basics and fundamentals and structure and anatomy of a body paragraph is very, very important. So without further ado, let's move on. Structure of an essay. We have discussed this before, that an essay has three main parts. Number one, it has an introduction or an introductory paragraph. It has a body, which we will be discussing today. And the body of the essay consists of at least 15 body paragraphs, and lastly, a concluding paragraph. Moving on, body. The body paragraphs in essay. Uh, the body paragraphs in essay, what is their purpose? They should develop your topic, prove your points, have a pattern. Each body paragraph should be unified, coherent, and well developed, and clearly support your thesis. Now, I will be discussing each of these in more details, but some of these points are obvious. You have a topic, okay? Let's suppose I take the same topic just to make the concepts clear. Is democracy no more vulnerable in Pakistan? Now, the concept of no more vulnerability, you have to develop it, okay? You have to develop it and you have to prove it. You have to basically elaborate it, how it is not vulnerable. And you have to prove your points. Of course, you have taken a stance in that essay that it is no more vulnerable. Now you have to prove it to the examiner that why the stance you have taken is right. I mean, you have to vindicate your stance, okay? You have to prove your stance. The body paragraphs, you not just write them, whatever comes to you. They have to have some sort of pattern. I will discuss what sort of pattern they have, but they can be they can be in a chronological order. They can have some logical division of ideas like economic issues, political issues, social issues, okay, or many other things. But the thing which you should be keeping in mind is that they have a pattern. You don't just write body paragraphs haphazardly. And most often in CSS, of course, you basically already devise that pattern, construct that pattern in your outline. Okay, in outline you already stipulate that pattern, the format or the sequence which your essay should take. Now each body paragraph should be unified, coherent, and well developed. I will be discussing each of these in more detail in the coming slides. Okay, so don't worry about this. You have you know you have come across these wordings, unified and coherency, whenever you hear about CSS. Today we'll be discussing about what this actually is and how it can actually be achieved. Now, how it can actually be achieved, I have a separate lecture to it, but today we'll be discussing that these are the prerequisites for writing a good body paragraph. Okay, but what are these? This we will be discussing today. And how do we achieve this? I have a separate lecture dedicated to this. Okay, and of course a body paragraph should be well developed. Now this the last point is obvious. Okay, all the body paragraphs should support your thesis, okay, or the proposition or the main stance which you have taken. Let's suppose democracy is no more vulnerable in Pakistan. Now I have a stance that it is no more vulnerable. Now all my body paragraphs should be supporting that thesis or that proposition which I have taken, that democracy is No more vulnerable in Pakistan. Okay, that's an obvious fact. You shouldn't be digressing from that thesis statement, your thesis statement. Okay, because the sole purpose of the body paragraphs is to develop on your thesis statement, to prove that the point you are making is justified. You tell the examiner that you are justified in making that claim by quoting various authorities, by giving statistics, facts, figures, giving examples, and all those techniques which you can use to justify your stance to the examiner. Moving on. Now, the concept of unity, it is often talked about in about when it comes to CSS essay, that first your body paragraphs should have unity, and secondly overall your essay have unity. But nobody knows actually, or most of the students I would suppose, that don't know what unity actually means, unity in an essay or unity in a body paragraph means. So we will be discussing this in detail. Unity, a paragraph is unified when each sentence relates directly to the main idea of the paragraph. So let's suppose this is the topic sentence or the first sentence of the paragraph. Okay, and all the supporting sentences should directly be hitting this topic sentence or the main idea, this the main idea of the body paragraph. Okay, if if you have achieved that, then it means that you have unity in your body paragraphs. Once again, the word unity with itself is self-evident, that a paragraph, okay, which you're writing is unified. And how it can be unified? It can be unified, you know in only one way, that you write a topic sentence. As I told earlier, as I discussed before, topic sentence is the first sentence of a body paragraph, which describes the main idea of your that particular paragraph. Now if all the supporting sentences are directly related to the main idea, or they are supporting the main idea, then your body paragraph has unity. Now similarly, if all of your body paragraphs are hitting the thesis statement of your essay, thesis statement of your essay, because your body paragraphs shouldn't be digressing from your thesis statement, then we can say that your whole essay has unity. Okay, it's a united whole, your essay, though. So the unity in a CSS essay should be at two levels. Number one, at a body paragraph level, and number two, at a whole essay level. And how can you achieve unity, in the whole essay? By making sure that all the body paragraphs hit your thesis statement directly. Okay, the main idea for paragraph is stated in topic sentence, just I have mentioned in the above bullet point, that the main idea of paragraph is stated in the first sentence of the body paragraph. Okay, the topic sentence, which topic sentence is just in simple words, it describes it states the main idea which you are going to discuss in that particular paragraph. Like a thesis statement, a topic sentence acts as a signpost, making it easy for readers to follow the paragraph's discussion. That's very obvious. Just like a thesis statement, acts as a signpost. The traffic signals, which help the drivers by letting them know to turn left or right. Similarly, a thesis statement lets the examiner know that in which direction your essay is going. It acts as a signpost. And in the same way, it can be said that a topic sentence of a paragraph, of a body paragraph, acts as a signpost. It tells the examiner what to expect in a particular paragraph. Okay, what are you going to discuss in that paragraph, which will be hitting the thesis statement of your essay. Okay, so the topic sentence of your paragraph should act as a signpost for the examiner as to what main idea should be discussed in in that particular body paragraph. And that particular body paragraph should be hitting your thesis statement. It shouldn't be irrelevant. Okay, moving on. Although the placement of a topic sentence depends on a writer's purpose and subject, beginning writers often make it the first sentence of a paragraph. So you should, I am talking, this is about those readers, novelists and fiction writers and all those writers. They tend to place the topic sentence anywhere in the sentence, but they can do this and get away with it, okay, because they have command over English language at a very advanced level, so to speak. So you shouldn't bother about that. Your focus should be on placing the topic sentence at the very outset of the paragraph, and that is what the examiner is expecting from you. Okay, he isn't expecting from you some hi-fi literary touch to your essay. Okay, you just have to keep it simple. Okay, sometimes the main idea of a paragraph is not stated but implied by the sentences in the paragraph. Main idea of a paragraph is not stated but implied by the sentences in a paragraph. Once again, this technique is used by professional writers. Okay, so as a beginning writer, you will find it helpful to use topic sentences to keep your paragraph focused. So none of us are an advanced professional writers. Okay, so we should stick to the basics, and that is what the examiner expects of us. We should write topic sentence at the very outset. The first sentence of our body paragraph should be topic sentence, and the rest of the sentences should be supporting the topic sentence. So that should be our approach. But you know since these other approaches are also used, I thought it might be useful to tell you those. But in the end, never ever try to do that. Okay, I would this is my recommendation. Just keep it simple. Write the topic sentence, at the very your topic sentence should be the very first sentence of your body paragraph, and the rest of the sentences should be supporting your topic sentence. Whether or not you include a topic sentence, remember that each sentence in a paragraph, now this the text in red is very important. Each sentence in a paragraph should develop the paragraph's main idea. A paragraph is equal to one main idea, and each sentence in a paragraph should develop the paragraph's main idea. If the sentences in a paragraph do not support the main idea of that paragraph, the paragraph will lack unity. So this is what the concept of unity is, that all the sentences in your paragraph should be hitting that the main idea of the particular body paragraph. This is the concept of unity at a paragraph level. And what is the concept of unity, at the whole essay level? That all your body paragraphs should be hitting the main idea of your essay. And what is the main idea of your essay? It is the thesis statement of your essay. So I hope the concept of unity is clear. I mean, we often hear that your essay should have unity and coherence. The concept of unity is clear. Now we move on to the concept of coherence. This is often what we hear most often, that and the examiner writes in often writes in his examiner reports, which come after the exams, which state the flaws in your essay, that the candidates lacked unity and coherence in their write-ups. So yeah, we have to know what the examiner actually means. So the second concept is of coherence in a body paragraph. Now, at a definitional issue, a paragraph is coherent if its sentences are smoothly and logically connected to one another. Okay, it's not that you are just right. This is, let's suppose, a body paragraph. Okay, and you are writing sentences which are not smoothly and logically connected to one another. Okay, they might all be hitting the main topic of the essay, main topic of the body paragraph. They might be hitting the main topic of the body paragraphs, but if they don't have a smooth transition, I'm talking about the sentences of a body paragraph. If they don't have a smooth and logical transition between them, then the examiner would say that this essay, this write-up lacks coherency. Now, coherency can be attained in three ways. Okay. Now, once again, I have a lecture dedicated to this, but you will know the concept after this lecture. Okay. First, how coherence can be achieved. You can repeat keywords. Okay, to carry concepts from one sentence to another and to echo important terms. Let's suppose we are writing something about gold. Okay, gold is, gold has various characteristics. Now we can refer to the gold in our body paragraph from 2 to 3 times. Okay, just to let the reader know that we are talking about the main idea, that is gold. Okay, so you can repeat the keywords. Keywords about what? About the main idea of the paragraph. Okay, so this is one way to maintain coherency in your body paragraph. I will be discussing, remember, I will be discussing it with examples in a separate lecture. Secondly, you can use pronouns to refer to the key nouns in the previous sentences. Of course, if you use the key words or nouns, let's suppose gold, too often, it might seem redundant. Okay, so the alternate approach is to use a mixture of the keywords or the key nouns and the pronouns. And when you use pronouns or when you use key nouns depends from situation to situation. Now let's suppose that in a particular sentence, the use of pronoun might make it difficult for the examiner to comprehend what noun he is talking about. Okay, so in that particular instance it would be useful to use that key noun once again. Okay, so where it demands, the write-up demands, the sentence demands that in order to clarify to the examiner what thing we are talking about what we are talking, you might use the key noun once again. But if it is implied or implied to the examiner that what we are talking about is the main noun, then you might use a pronoun. So how often you use pronoun and how often you use keywords, there's a mixture, and this mixture basically depends from the situation to situation. Okay, if it is implied throughout the paragraph that you're talking about the same keyword, then you don't have to use key nouns very often. Okay, but still I would recommend that you use keywords at least once. But remember, the main thing is that if your pronoun is not clarifying to the examiner what you are talking about in a particular sentence, then you should use the keyword. And it will be obvious to you where to use, where not to use pronoun, because it might create a confusion. Okay, in the lecture which I have dedicated to this, I have cited various, I have cited, given various paragraphs. Okay, which tell you where to use nouns and where to use pronouns. Okay, but for the time being, you have to keep this in your mind that you can use a mixture of this. Finally, to achieve coherency, and what was coherency? Smooth and logical transition between sentences in a body paragraph. Okay, so the last technique is you can use transitions, words or expressions that show chronological sequence, cause and effect, and so on. Once again, in the same lecture which I was talking about, I have also discussed this: transitions, words or expressions. But since I need to I let me demonstrate this, that transition words are like however, nonetheless, it can be stated that it can be stated that is a transition phrase. So these are the words and expressions, okay, which let the reader jump smoothly, okay, from one sentence in a paragraph to the next. These transition phrases, just like keywords and pronouns, make the reader walk through from one sentence to another, while making the reader subconsciously realize that all the sentences are somehow related and they are touching upon the main topic of the paragraph. So these are the three ways in which coherency in a body paragraph can be achieved. Okay, these three strategies for connecting sentences, okay, which you can also use to connect paragraphs within an essay. Okay, this is very important. These same three techniques can be used to build in coherence in your whole essay. Okay, indicate to your readers the exact relationship among your ideas. Okay, so these techniques, when it comes to body paragraph, these techniques indicate to the reader the connection between the sentences as to how they hit the main topic of the paragraph. And at the essay level, We tell the reader that how the sentences flow from how the paragraphs flow from one paragraph to another smoothly and logically, while at the same time hitting the thesis statement. So that is what coherency is. So unity was, once again, unity was that each sentence relates directly to the main idea of the paragraph, and coherency was that all the sentences which you have maintained in a paragraph, you should be transitioning smoothly between them. Okay, number one, unity is that all the sentences should be hitting the main idea of the paragraph, and the coherence is that you should be transitioning from one sentence to another smoothly and logically. And there were three ways to it. You can use keywords again and again in your paragraph, you can use pronouns, or you can use transitions. That was the concept of unity and coherence. Now the third prerequisite for a good body paragraph is that it should be well developed. Okay, your body paragraph should be well developed. A paragraph is well developed if it contains the support. Now, what do I mean by support? Is that you cite examples, you give reasons, okay, to prove your point, you give facts, you give statistics, you you use quotes and so on, so that the reader understands the main idea. He you are so that you are able to convince the reader that what you are saying is not just a mere conjecture or an opinion which has no solid grounds. So you have to develop your paragraph, and a paragraph contains a one idea. Okay, now you have to develop on that, you have to develop that paragraph by elaborating on that idea. Okay, and how do you develop that idea? By using these techniques. Once you've stated the topic sentence which states the main idea, then you have to develop that, and you use these techniques to develop your topic sentence or your main idea. So the crux of this is that a body paragraph should be unified, coherent, and well developed. So I hope the concepts are clear, and you should these shouldn't just be concepts that you can know and just forget them. No, you should be applying these concepts to your essay, and that is when the examiner's report in which he says that students lack unity and coherence. That is when examiner won't be able to penalize you if you have used these techniques in your essay. Now that we have know what are the prerequisites of a paragraph, I mean, how should what the examiner expects? He expects that your body paragraph should be unified, coherent, and well developed. And now that we know that what are these concepts. Let's jump into the anatomy of a paragraph and how do we write a paragraph. Okay, now, the simple definition of paragraph is that it is a group of related sentences that discuss one and usually only one main idea. Okay, so how are the related sentences? The topic sentence or the first sentence of the body paragraph, which states the main idea, and the rest of the sentences support the main idea. So that is why I say it as a group of related sentences. All the sentences are related to the main idea. A paragraph can be as short as one sentence or as long as 10 sentences. So, of course, it can't be one sentence. In CSS essay, the length of a paragraph could be anything between 5 to 10 sentences. Okay, but remember, the length of a paragraph does not matter, or it is not important. It should be long enough to develop the main idea clearly. Once again, the students often ask what should be the length of a body paragraph, ideal length of a paragraph. And my answer to this is that your paragraph can be anything from 4 to 10 sentences. But even if within those bounds you can't develop, you are not able to develop your main idea clearly, then it won't do you any good. Okay, so the main focus of your body paragraph should be that you develop your main idea clearly. Okay, if you have achieved that, it doesn't matter, believe me, it doesn't matter to the examiner what is the length of your paragraph. And the second question which students ask is that should the length of all the body paragraphs should be equal. I say to them, no. Firstly, it is not practically possible. Secondly, you have different ideas and you have different material coming to your mind regarding different ideas. So you can develop or elaborate some ideas at more length, at a more detailed level, and you can elaborate on some in a very few sentences, let's suppose 4 to 5 sentences. So it's not technically possible, and it's not desirable that you should be, you know, striving for the same length of the paragraphs. Okay, so once again, the length of the body paragraphs doesn't matter. What matters is that you have developed the main idea clearly, main idea of the paragraph clearly. Because at the end of the day, what we are doing is that we are vindicating, we are proving that the thesis statement of our essay is right. And how do we prove that? By elaborating on that thesis statement by writing different body paragraphs. And if we aren't able to develop the main ideas of our body paragraphs clearly, the ultimate objective of the essay, that is proving that our thesis statement stands on solid footing, won't be achieved. And that's where you are doomed, frankly speaking. Okay, so moving on. Okay, this we know that a structure of a body para. Okay, this is important. This is something new actually. Structure of a body paragraph. A well-developed paragraph has three parts. Number one, topic sentence, and topic sentence is the first sentence of the body paragraph. Then there are supporting sentences which support the topic sentence. Okay, and then there is a concluding sentence. And I'm not saying that you need to have a concluding sentence. It's not a must, but if it is optional, you can say that writing a concluding sentence. Okay, but the example I'm going to show you will contain all three. Okay, let's move, just jump onto the example. Okay, now we'll be discussing each of these first. Okay, topic sentence. What is a topic sentence? It is the subject of a paragraph. Okay, as I discussed in the just before, that the topic sentence is the main idea or the subject of a paragraph, and it is stated in one sentence. So this is called the topic sentence. The topic sentence of a paragraph expresses the single main idea the writer wants to tell to the examiner. Okay, single main idea. Remember, you can't have more ideas, more than one idea in one body paragraph. It is typically the first sentence in the paragraph, in a body paragraph. All other sentences in a body paragraph explain the topic sentence. And what was once again topic sentence? The subject of a paragraph. You know, similarly, that there is a subject of your essay in CSS exam. There is a subject to every body paragraph in your essay, and that subject is stated in the first sentence of your body paragraph, which is called the topic sentence. Okay, and it helps the reader understand the message of the paragraph. Okay, so the examiner should be able to know immediately after reading the first sentence of your body paragraph that what the student wants to convey in this particular paragraph. So this is very important, very important. It's a very technical area, and student make blunders, you know, when writing a topic sentence. So pay careful attention to this. Topic sentence consists of topic and a controlling idea. Now, the topic states the topic of the paragraph. Okay, I will just give this example. I will elaborate this with an example. And the controlling idea controls or limit the topic to a specific area. Now, when there is a topic, you can write anything about it. But what you are going to write about in a particular body paragraph about that topic, you know, should be specified through a controlling idea. Let's discuss this with an example. Let's read this sentence. Gold, a precious metal, is known for two important characteristics. Okay, now this is a sentence. Now here the topic is gold. Okay, we're discussing something about gold in this. We're going to discuss something about gold in this particular body paragraph. Remember, this is the topic sentence of a body paragraph. First sentence. In the first sentence, we have mentioned topic, that is gold. Now the examiner knows that we are going to talk about gold in this paragraph. And what we are going to talk now, remember, we can talk about anything about gold, but we have to give to the examiner, we have to make it clear to the examiner what particular thing we are going to talk about gold in a body paragraph. So here, this is the controlling idea, two important characteristics. So two important characteristics, the line highlighted and the line underlined, are the controlling idea. So the goal is the main idea or the topic of the sentence, of the topic of the body paragraph, and the two main characteristics. This phrase is the controlling idea. This limits the scope of our body paragraph. Okay. Now the examiner knows that what the student is going to talk about in this particular body paragraph is its two important characteristics. Okay. Now remember, you can only talk about one important characteristic in one particular paragraph. So it depends from essay to essay. I mean, where does the concept of gold stand in the whole essay? But remember that, but just keep in mind, just get through the concept which I'm talking about. That the topic sentence, the first sentence of the body paragraph, should state the topic and then the controlling idea. And why this is important? Because this states clearly stipulates to the examiner what aspect of the topic we are going to talk about in that particular body paragraph. Now it's your turn to guess. Illiteracy is the root cause of meteoric population growth. Okay, illiteracy is the root cause of meteoric population growth. Now illiteracy is the topic and population growth is the controlling idea. Is that right? Just read the sentence once again, pay careful attention to every each and every word, and tell me what is the controlling idea and what is the topic of this sentence. And what I have written, is it correct or not? Is illiteracy the topic and population growth is the controlling idea? You can think about it. I will give you a couple of seconds. So I hope that you have guessed it. Okay, I hope that you have guessed it right. Remember, it doesn't the topic of the sentence. Okay, the topic in the topic sentence doesn't have to be the first word. What matters is that what the particular word illustrates. Okay, now read it once again. Illiteracy is the root cause of meteoric population growth. Here, population growth or meteoric population growth, so to speak, is not the controlling idea. It's the main topic of the body paragraph. Okay, it's the main topic of this particular body paragraph. We are talking about the causes of population growth, but in this particular body paragraph, we will only be talking about one cause, and what that cause is: illiteracy. Okay, so the topic here, the topic is population growth and the controlling idea is illiteracy. Okay, so it doesn't, the topic of the topic sentence doesn't have to be the first word. Okay, you can place it anywhere, but it has to be in the first sentence of the paragraph. I hope the concept is clear, of the concept of controlling idea is clear, and I hope that at this point you might have realized why the concept of controlling idea is very important and why it needs to be adhered religiously. Okay, so moving on, writing topic sentences. A topic sentence should neither be too general nor too specific. Just like thesis statement, which presented the main idea of your whole essay, similarly topic sentences which present the main idea of your body paragraph shouldn't be too general nor too specific. Okay, why? Because of the same reasons we discussed about the thesis statement. If it is too general, the examiner won't be able to comprehend what you are going to talk about in this particular paragraph. And secondly, you won't be able to summarize all the content which you have stated in the topic sentence in a very general manner in one paragraph. And it is, if it is too specific, you won't be able to write a whole paragraph. Because so it has to, and how you we can avoid these follies? By stating a topic and then right away mentioning a controlling idea. That would make it a lot easier for you to write a well developed body paragraph. A topic sentence should not have unrelated controlling ideas. Okay, now remember, in the previous slide, here I have, in the controlling idea, sorry, yeah, in the controlling idea, I have mentioned two important characteristics. Okay, now I have mentioned two, I can write two important characteristics because they are related controlling ideas. What I mean by this is that I'm only talking about the characteristics of gold. Okay, like I can't talk about the, the usability, or the, you can say, the preciousness of gold. you know I can't say that gold, a precious metal, is known for two important characteristics and it has many applicable uses in the real world, many uses in the real world. Now these two controlling ideas are unrelated, so I can't state them in one body paragraph. Okay, what I can state is that I can state two controlling ideas in one sentence. But it depends from essay to essay. Like if your essay is about cause effects of an energy crisis, then it is better that you write upon one effect in one paragraph. Okay, that would make it a lot of easier. Just this was just to give you an illustration that a topic sentence should not have unrelated controlling ideas. Okay, you can't just write one social effect and one political effect of energy crisis in one paragraph. Okay, but if you have two small or not so important political effects, then you might write them in one paragraph. But if the political effect is a very major one, okay, then you only have to write it in one paragraph. Because why I'm stating this is because sometimes in English essay you are running out of time, and you want to make sure that all the ideas, you have written main ideas in one paragraph, and in the end you are left with a couple of minor ideas, okay, which are not important. Then you can use them, write them in one body paragraph, but they have to be related. You can't just, if the two, let's suppose, economic effects are trivial, then you can write them in one paragraph, but only if you're running out of time. But you can't write an economic effect and a social effect in one paragraph. They would be unrelated controlling ideas, and believe me, it would make it very difficult for you to write them in one paragraph, and the examiner won't like it. So I prefer that you write, at the end of the day, I would prefer that you write one controlling idea in one body paragraph. Okay, so once again, what I was talking about is the pitfall of writing too narrow versus too broad topic sentence. So here you can read it once again. A topic sentence should neither be too broad nor too narrow. If it is too broad, you will not be able to discuss it in a single paragraph. I mean, if you have vaguely defined the topic sentence and you haven't mentioned the controlling idea in the topic sentence, then it becomes too difficult for you to discuss the topic, the main idea in a single paragraph. On the other hand, if it's too narrow, you will have difficulty writing an entire paragraph about the topic. Okay, so your topic sentence should just be about, of an ideal scenario. It should be an ideal scenario, and how you can achieve it? By writing a topic, and then by making sure that the controlling idea gives you enough space to write a paragraph. Now here is an example. of too narrow versus too broad topic sentence. Now this is a too broad topic sentence. Eating correctly is important. Okay. Now we know that this in this particular sentence, this is too broad. Okay. Important in what ways? Okay. What does eating correctly mean? You haven't specified anything about the paragraph which you are going to write about in this topic sentence. I mean, the examiner doesn't know what you're going to write about when it comes to eating correctly is important. I mean, he doesn't know what you're going to talk about, that important eating correctly is important in what ways, or to begin with, what does eating correctly even mean? So this is a too broad and vague and nebulous sort of topic sentence. Okay, it doesn't convey the message, it doesn't tell the examiner what you're going to write about in a particular paragraph. Now this is an example of a too narrow topic sentence. Spinach is an excellent source of iron. Okay, now what is there to write about to make a paragraph out of it? You have already stated a fact that spinach is an excellent source of iron. Now what? The examiner knows that okay, spinach was the topic and source of iron was the controlling idea. Now what are you going to write about in the whole paragraph? You have already written it. Okay, there is not much to writing about this paragraph. So it is a too narrow topic sentence. Now this is an example of a just about the right topic sentence. It is neither too broad nor too narrow. An important step in preventing heart diseases is eating fruits and vegetables daily. Okay, now here the topic is preventing heart diseases and the controlling idea is eating fruits and vegetables daily. Now there can be many other controlling ideas like doing regular exercise, avoid smoking, etc., but they would require separate paragraphs because one paragraph contains one controlling idea. Now you can prevent heart diseases by doing regular exercise, by not smoking. These are various other controlling ideas or ways to prevent heart diseases, but we won't be discussing these in this paragraph. They need a separate paragraph to elaborate on. Now, why I have lumped together fruits and vegetables together in one topic sentence? This is because they are related controlling ideas. Okay, I mean, fruits and vegetables, they are a way to prevent heart diseases by moderating your eating habits. Okay, by changing your eating habits, that is by eating fruits and vegetables daily, you can prevent heart diseases. Okay, this is just to elaborate on the concept that the controlling ideas can only be related and they shouldn't be unrelated. Like you can't write that an important step in preventing heart disease is eating fruits and doing regular exercise. Now they are unrelated, but in the exam, once again, this was just to make the concept clear. It is better for you, if you have time at your disposal, that you write fruits you know in a separate paragraph and vegetables in a separate paragraph. Once again, only if you're running out of time, you can write, you can elaborate on related controlling ideas in one paragraph. Only if you're running out of time. Okay, if you have ample time at your disposal, you should even be discussing related controlling ideas in different body paragraphs. So moving on, now that we have discussed the topic sentence in a very very detailed manner, we come to the supporting sentences. Once we have stated the topic of a paragraph, we have to support and strengthen it by using different supporting sentences. We explain or prove the topic sentence, okay, the main idea of our paragraph, by using supporting sentence. And remember, the supporting sentences should be specific and factual. Okay, they can be examples, statistics, quotations, real life examples, okay, or any other thing, but they need to be specific and factual. So that was about supporting sentences. Now moving on, I'll give you an okay, this is an example of supporting sentences. Okay, just read it, it is very important. The sentence in the red is the topic sentence and the sentences in the blue which have been underlined are the supporting sentences. So you should have at least two to three supporting sentences in a paragraph. Okay, at least this, I'm writing at least, there can be more. So just go through it. So presuming that you have read the paragraph, now in this topic sentence, first discuss the topic sentence. The topic is rats, and the controlling idea is that they have managed to survive all our efforts to destroy them. Okay, so what you're going to write about in this particular paragraph is that, you know, there we can write anything about rats in a particular paragraph if we don't give the controlling idea to the examiner. Maybe the examiner might expect the characteristics of rats, or what do they eat, okay, where do they live, but we have to give him a controlling idea so that he can know what to expect in the paragraph. So we have given him the controlling idea, that is how the rats have managed to survive all our efforts to destroy them. Now we are writing the supporting sentences, okay, to prove the controlling idea, the topic sentence which we have written. We have poisoned and trapped them, we have fumigated, flooded and burned them, we have tried germ warfare, some rats even survived atomic bomb tests conducted on an atoll in the Pacific Ocean after World War II. Now these supporting sentences are basically supporting our controlling idea. Okay, so I hope the concept is clear, that why do we write supporting sentences. Now the concluding sentence, which is also called the clincher sentence. So what we talked about the structure of a body paragraph, that it has a topic sentence, it has supporting details, and then there is a concluding or clincher sentence. Okay, now the concluding sentence signals the end of the paragraph. Okay, it's obvious. It leaves the reader with the most important idea. It can do this in two ways: by summarizing the main points of the paragraph, or by repeating the topic sentences in different words. Remember, in the essay, what we do in the concluding paragraph is that we paraphrase the thesis statement, and in a paragraph, we repeat the topic sentence in different words. Effectively, what we are doing is we are paraphrasing the thesis statement. Let me elaborate this with the same example. Here, the concluding sentence, okay, it is restating the topic sentence in different words. It reinforces the main point made in the paragraph, and it summarizes paragraph. Here, the line in the red is basically the topic sentence as discussed earlier. The lines in the green are the supporting sentences, and lastly, the lines highlighted in blue and underlined is the concluding sentence. Just read it once again. So presuming that you have read this, now this concluding or clincher sentence is basically restating the topic sentence. It is reinforcing and summarizing the paragraph. Let's see how. In spite of all our efforts, these enemies of ours continue to prove that they are the most indestructible of pests. Okay, so we have mentioned various techniques we have used. We have mentioned various methods we have used to destroy them, but they have proved that they are most indestructible. And that was what our thesis statement was, that they have managed to survive all our efforts. So the concluding sentence is restating the thesis statement, it is reinforcing the main points made in the paragraph, and it is summarizing the paragraph. But this is, remember, a word of caution. Never introduce a new topic in the concluding sentence. Never ever introduce a new topic in the concluding sentence. Now, some students say that, in order to maintain coherency in the essay, they should give a sniff, a hint, a sniff or a hint of a new topic of the topic which is to be discussed in the next paragraph. But I will tell you why this approach can be hazardous. It can be dangerous. Okay, it can be dangerous for you. You can put yourself in a quagmire. Okay, because once you have introduced the new topic, the main idea which you're going to discuss in the next paragraph, you might just go about writing something more about it, and you might end up having, writing, you might end up having to write about 3 to 4 lines about that new idea which you're going to discuss in the next paragraph. Now, what is the alternative technique and the safer technique to transition smoothly from one paragraph to the next is by using different transitions. Okay, I have a separate lecture on it. Okay, so instead of introducing the new idea at the end of the paragraph, it is safer to use transitions in the next paragraph to link back the next paragraph to the previous one. Now, how do we do this? I will tell you in the lecture which is specifically dedicated to maintaining unity and coherency in your essay. Okay, for now, just keep in mind that never try this one. Okay, this could be hazardous. Okay, you can put yourself in a very dangerous situation if you introduce new idea in the paragraph. The best approach is to state the new topic, new idea in the next paragraph, and connect it back to the previous one by using transitions. I will discuss it in a separate lecture. Don't worry about it. So, end of paragraph signals. Okay, how do we signal to the examiner that our paragraph is coming to an end? Now, these are the words which are followed by commas. Okay, now I have seen many write-ups where students make mistakes that they don't put a comma after these words. Okay, like in brief, in conclusion, indeed, lastly, therefore. Now, after these end of signal paragraphs, you must put a comma. Okay, because they put into writing a pause of a words. Okay, in conclusion, we can say that this is the effect. Now, when speaking about this, there is a gap, there is a slight pause. Okay, after in conclusion, indeed, we can say that. Now, once again, in speaking, if there is a pause, then you must put in a comma. And this is the I'm giving you uh, this example because this is why, this is the logic behind putting commas, and this is the logic, and they have become the rules of English grammar. Okay, but this is the logic behind putting commas. And in all other areas, except there are few other exceptions where you put the commas, but in the sentences, let's suppose you put commas. For example, if there is a list, for example, there are various causes of economic crisis, like bad governance, inadequate resources. So there is a slight pause after these lists or everything. So if you think that there is a pause in between, then there is the comma is a must. But since the English grammar has established itself, these rules of speaking are established in writing, there is it is easier for you and safer for you to learn those grammatical rules. Okay, no end of now when you are writing. So this was, I just diverted from the main topic, but this was just to make sure that you know why commas are necessary in these words. Now these words can be used to write the last sentence or end the paragraph. You can end your paragraph by using such words, and they must be followed by commas. Okay, these are grammatical rules. Now, end of paragraph signals not followed by a comma. Now, these are also ways in which you can end your paragraph. Now, these are phrases. The evidence suggests that rat have managed to. There can be no doubt that these examples show that we can see that. Now here, there isn't any pause. You will continue your sentence in the same way. Like this evidence suggests that rats have managed to. So there is no comma. You just keep on writing. You finish your thought in the sentence without writing any comma. So the crux is that you can conclude your paragraph by writing words or by writing phrases. Okay, there are two ways to signal, sorry, there are two ways to signal to the examiner that the paragraph is coming to an end. So paragraph checklist. First of all, you write the support topic sentence, which includes the topic and a controlling idea. These are the two must. Then you write supporting details, 1, 2, 3, there can be more. And lastly, there is a concluding sentence. Okay, this is a paragraph checklist. You have to make sure that these are the essential ingredients of a well-developed paragraph. Now, some points of caution. Paragraphs have a topic sentence, supporting details, and a concluding sentence. Do not talk to the examiner or reader. No I, we, you. That is no personal pronouns. Okay, no, never ever use personal pronouns. Let's suppose you shouldn't be using I. It is self-evident because all of you, the things you're writing in your essay, it is self-evident to the examiner that it is your opinion. Okay, it is your opinion backed up by facts and figures. So you don't have to write I. Okay, this is self-evident. Similarly, you can't use other personal pronouns. Okay, in formal writings. Relate your details to the topic sentences. Use transition words. Okay, this is just the things which are discussed. Now, counter arguments. I will be discussing these counter arguments in a separate lecture. Okay, that when we go about how to write an argumentative essay, over there I have gone in depth about how to write a counter argument. Okay, for now, just keep in mind that the counter argument also has a proper structure. It is different, slightly different from a typical body paragraph. Counter argument is also a body paragraph, but its structure is a bit different from traditional body paragraphs. Okay, but nonetheless, there are rules. There is a formula to writing a proper counter argument. Okay, so I won't be discussing this today because I have a separate lecture dedicated to as to how to go about an argumentative essay. And in an argumentative essay, you write counter arguments. So that is it for today. I hope today's lecture was clear as far as the body of the essay is concerned. There is a proper structure to writing body paragraphs. The body paragraph has a topic sentence, which includes topic and a controlling idea. Then there are supporting sentences. Okay. Then there is concluding sentence. Supporting sentences. So that was basically the crux, the detail as to the anatomy of a body paragraph, how you go about writing a body paragraph. So see, it is different from an introductory paragraph, which starts from general statements and narrows down to thesis statement. And similarly, the concluding paragraph, that is also different from body paragraph. So you should keep in mind that the basic structure of an essay is different, and each structure has specific methodology to it. Okay, so that is it for today's lecture. I hope this lecture was useful to you, because if you know how to write a proper paragraph, you know how to write an idea in a well developed way, then you have 50% of your basis is covered as far as writing CSS essay is concerned. Okay, so wishing you best of luck with the exams. Keep practicing. Allah Hafiz. See you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.